so-called alien drawing of what might have been out there. What do you think of that?
Well, again, the image there close to you, George, that was the actual sketch that was in the files at Dr. Sprinkle's of the alien being, one of the types that were seen out there on the ranch. And this sketch there on the left, closest to me, is a sketch from a gentleman named Sean Bartok, who wrote a book called Flashbacks, and he had a property that was just 14 miles away from where the ranch sat, and this was the being they saw out
He was
around
an
that time.
eyewitness.
Right, and I don't know about you, but I find them to look eerily similar, you know. And those tubes in the neck there, he said actually would expand out. Those are actually tubes in his neck.
That's interesting.
So out there on the ranch property, they said they had these type of beings seen out there and a Nordic type of being. And they said they appeared to be in conflict with one another.
All right, let's look at the next picture here and see what this is.
Again, that's
a different perspective of what we saw. Look at the arms.
Right. Yeah, and you know,
Looks
through the
robotic.
years, well, exactly. I was actually at the grocery store standing in line, and there was a copy of Popular Mechanics, and it was a big article about AI, and they had these tubey things, and I
like
thought,
him.
yeah, I really think this could possibly be some sort of AI, and I also, through the years, think that whatever those boxes may be that were seen at the ranch property are most likely connected to these beings here.
What is that screen in front of him?
I don't know. In the document, it describes it as more of a three-dimensional type thing. It almost looks flat in that photograph, but the arms and legs are almost spider,
It looks like a praying mantis.
Yeah, almost. So I don't know if that's a shield or what that is. And there was supposedly some sort of clear apparatus over the head.
All right, let's look at our next picture here.
Yeah, again, those are those images from that issue. And when I saw that, it just kind of clicked in my brain that possibly that could be an AI, maybe connected to the boxes. And then the image there on the far right is that Sean Bartok's drawing of those tubes that are in the neck coming out. So I think it's very unusual because it's not like anything you really see, in movies or the stereotypical grays that you often hear about. They're very unique looking. Another phenomenon
this looks
out
like
there.
Bigfoot.
Oh, yeah. And when I was a young girl, so during the ranch time, I'm 9 to 12 years old during these years, and they called them white fuzzies because they had like gray hair. But they had these Bigfoot Sasquatch creatures that were seen at the ranch property, and that was a sketch of what was drawn there. And interestingly enough, years later at a conference, I meet Bob Salas, and he was talking about very similar experiences happening up in Montana, and happened to have an airman that passed a polygraph test seeing these creatures, and they're almost identical to these as well.
How prevalent, Katie, was the military presence out at this ranch?
I think it was very prevalent. I mean, one of the big things that happened out there a lot were these mysterious unmarked helicopters flying off and off of properties, and it made me wonder, were the military responsible for a lot of these cattle mutilations? Were they taking the cattle, and why? There's missile silos out there, the Titan missile silos. Were they testing the water? Were they testing the soil? I don't know, but as you can see, the Elbert Ranch is that big red star there, and we had the Air Force Academy. And back in the mid to late 70s, their property ran clear up close to the ranch property. And then we have Cheyenne Mountain, of course, NORAD, Fort Carson, Shrivner, Peterson Air Force Base, and there's also Butte, which had a huge collection of the helicopters out there. So, and that's, like I said, it was always my question, chicken or the egg? Were they out there causing the activity, or were they out there investigating, or both?
Or both.
Or both.
Or both. Military bases seem to be associated with a lot of UFO sightings. What is your thoughts on that?
Oh, well, absolutely. I mean, we know World War II and the Foo Fighters and all the activities and, shutting down and even turning on our nuclear weapons. So I believe that whoever may be out there watching humanity is keeping a close eye on our military and our weapons.
A very close eye.